Hello. Right. Hello. Put this down, maybe. All right. Testing. Testing, testing, testing. Probably should be working. All right. I think it's working. All right, perfect. All right. If you guys are here in the chat, if you guys are here, you guys can put your names and things like that. Took me a long time. Took me 55 minutes. I know I'm supposed to be starting at 5 o'clock, but technical difficulties. I'm just learning how to use the system. I'm using OBS. I was gonna live stream on YouTube and TikTok, but if you see me looking down, it's because I'm using my laptop. I'm gonna be sharing my screen, but my camera is set up right here, so I can look at you guys. But I am looking down, so I can look on my camera. The audio sounds fine. If you guys think the audio doesn't sound fine, let me know. Um, but yeah, we should be getting started soon. Man, it took me a while. But yeah, we supposed to do a little question thing. If you guys have any questions and things like that, any questions you want to ask me, feel free to do so. But we are going to talk about slavery in the Bible. If you're familiar with my channel, uh, the reason why I named it Expounding Knowledge is because I genuinely like to learn, and I'm not a know-it-all person, so I'm in a state of gradually learning, gradually growing. So yeah. But so far, we only have one person watching. It's probably myself, to check out to see if the stream is good, because the stream was acting real weird. So, but I think I got everything down packed. So the next time we do a live stream, everything should be well, should be good. Um, but yeah. So in the meantime, as people come in, I don't know if people gonna come in, but if they do, hope everything goes well. But the audio sounds nice. The audio sounds pretty weird, but that's fine. That's fine. Maybe next time I'll have like a actual microphone that could project and things like that. But like I said, first live stream. Not gonna be too harsh on myself. We're gonna talk about biblical passages and have this up. And even if nobody joins, that's fine with me. We just wanna reach as much people as possible. Share later. Probably break this down and make it a YouTube video. Clip the stream up. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go actually start talking about Exodus 21 as people will start coming in. So let's make sure we could see it. All right. I think everything looks good. Okay. So I've been talking about slavery in the Bible, specifically like Exodus chapter 21, Deuteronomy chapter 15, Leviticus chapter 25. I've been using all of those passages, talking about these passages, trying to understand context. I've been even looking at books like from Paul Copan, It's Got a Vindictive Bully, or It's Got a Moral Monster. I brought up Gregory Cherachino, and Gregory Cherachino talks about that, the death slavery in ancient Israel in his book, which was made in 1993. And I know I'm forgetting, oh, and Raymond Westbrook, and I think it's the Law of the Tigris. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Law of the Tigris. And isn't it in Euphrates? It's something on the line. It's about Raymond Westbrook. Hopefully, I can find it. Raymond West. Oh, the law from the Tigers to the Tiber. There you go. But yeah, and Raymond Westbrook as well too. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna give some time for people to come in because I want to edify them. But the next time it will be smooth. I will have TikTok and I will have YouTube up. Uh, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. It took me more than like an hour because I was working on it earlier today. When you're not familiar with something, you kind of get used to it. But I'm gonna use Blue Letter Bible as like my reading thing. We're gonna try to understand context, talk about biblical passages, specifically slavery in the Bible. So I'm gonna read verse Exodus chapter 21, verse 12 to 27. That's specifically I'm gonna read. Turn this down. I'm gonna read Exodus chapter 21, verse 12 to 12 to 27. Specifically, we're gonna talk about verse 20, give deep context about it, and should we really just like murk our slaves? You know what I mean? Specifically, and this is if a man beats his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. So we're gonna read verse 12 to 27, see how it goes. It says, "He who strikes a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. However, if he did not lie in wait, but God delivered him into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place where he may flee. But if a man acts with premeditation against his neighbor to kill him by treachery, you shall take him from my altar, that he may die. And he who strikes his father or mother shall surely be put to death. He who kidnaps a man and sells him, or if he is found in his hand, shall surely be put to death. And he who curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. If men contend with each other, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die, but is confined to his bed, if he rises again and walk about outside with his staff, then he who struck him shall be acquitted, and he shall only pay for the loss of his time, and shall provide for him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man beats his female slave, male or female slave, or servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if he remains alive a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his property. And if men fight and hurt a woman with child, so that she gives birth prematurely, yet no harm follows, he shall surely be punished accordingly as the woman's husband imposes on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if any harms follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. If a man strikes the eyes of his female or male or female servant and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. And if he knocks out the tooth of his male or female servant, he shall let him go free for the sake of his tooth. So I mentioned it, I talked about it. If anybody in the chat, share it with somebody you know. Share spread it around, spread the word around, so people could lock in and tune in. So we see, like I said, I'm specifically going to start off by talking about verse 20, and it says, "If a man beats his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished." And one of my favorite things, if you guys don't know, I always talk about context because context is key. My favorite seven words are letters. Uh, Definitely something that's very important. Before we get to that, we have to get to verse 18 because verse 18 kind of uh, builds up a foundation. And there's a word called, don't really know how to pronounce it all the best, but it's like a literary device, a rhetorical device where it's like A, B, B, A, and or A, B, C, or C, B, A. It's like a rhetorical strategy in writing. And you could kind of see this in Exodus chapter 21, like verse 18. So it says, if men contend with each other, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die, but is confined to his bed. So we kind of see this same motif where we get to Verse 20, it says, "And if a man beats his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished." Yes, obviously he should be put to death and things like that. And and you could kind of see that it's the same thing in verse 14. Verse 14 and verse 20 correlates. It says, "But if a man acts with premeditation against his neighbor to kill him by treachery, you shall take him from my altar that he may die." And verse 20 says, "And if a man beats his male or female servant with a rod so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished," which is the death penalty. And we see that verse 18 and 21 are very similar. And it says, "If men contend with each other," so men are fighting with each other, they button heads and stuff like that, "and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die, but is confined to his bed." So it gives you a scenario. I always talked about in like my shorts and in my little videos that I do that in the case laws, it's like if X happened, then Y follows. And the prime example that I always give, if it's raining outside, we're not going to go outside to play. But if it's sunny outside, I will go outside to play, guaranteed. So this is something that this is considered case laws because the Old Testament laws are meant for wisdom. It's meant for you to use wisdom to kind of dictate the situation. So, oh, how should I move in this certain situation? Almost like the prime example that I always give. It talks about in one of the verses says, if you if a child strikes his parents or his father or his mother, shall be worthy to be put to death. And logically speaking, you shouldn't put, let's just be honest, you're not supposed to put your child to death if it's like a baby and stuff like that. Because you know why? Use wisdom, use understanding. Obviously, that's not the case. Oh, let me just make sure I check the chat and things like that. Make sure everything is good. I think everything is good. I don't currently see no interactions in the chat. But if you guys have any questions, let me know, let me know, let me know. And also leave a like. Leaving a like helps the algorithm as well. But yeah, like I was saying, so the the Old Testament talks about if you beat your if your child hits their parents, they should be put to death. Obviously, they're not talking about a toddler, because sometimes a toddler could give a blow or strike their parent, but obviously they're not gonna be put to death because they don't know better. It's the age of accountability. Um, So yeah, if you see, and it says, if a man beats his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall be punished. Notwithstanding, if he remains alive a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his property, or some translation says, for he is his money. So let's continue to verse 19, because verse 19 kind of helps us how to interpret verse 21. "If he rises again and walks about outside with his staff, then he who struck him shall be acquitted, and he shall only pay for the loss of his time, and shall provide for him to be thoroughly healed." So you see that, like I want you guys to actually wrap around like the scriptures and what it's saying. That if a person strikes, so imagine we know what happens if you strike a man. So two men are contending, two men are fighting each other, and one man strike another man with a staff, and like he's like very injured, bodily harm, and can't really do much of anything, he shall only pay for the loss of time. So the loss of time that this man is supposed to work, that other guy who struck the man is going to pay for him. So that's like him suffering because you know why? Yes, he's not suffering with physical penalty, but he is suffering by giving up his financial wealth, by helping this man until he recovers. So he has to continually help this man until he recovers because this is thoroughly healed. So let's add this same idea to verse 27. Now it's in the context of a servant or a slave because the Hebrew word for servant is eved, which means servant, slave, all depending on the context. We are called slaves or servants of God many times, or even in Isaiah 53, the Messiah is called a servant. But I also want to read verse 26 to 27 in the light of context of verse 21 because we have to see everything within its proper context. Now it says, if a man strikes the eye of his male or female servant and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. And if he knocks out the tooth of his male or female servant, he shall let him go free for the sake of his tooth. So keep this in mind. The same one, when they read verse 21, they assume that, oh, if he survives more than 48 hours, then he receives no punishment. But that is not the gist of that. Like in the ancient Near East context, they're not like us where they're not they don't have deep knowledge about medical things like this. So them waiting a day or two is like them saying, okay, this person is good enough where they didn't die from their injuries. But even if they sustain injury, what does verse 26 to 27 says? You shall let them go free for the sake of it. And if a slave runs away, the runaway slave, you should not bring it back to his master because obviously they got abused. So obviously people refuse to look at the context of like a Exodus chapter 21 verse 26 to 27 or a Exodus chapter 21 verse 18 to 19, a few verses behind Exodus chapter 21 verse 20 to 21. So all these things are very important and essential. And if you guys enjoying this, definitely leave a like. Leave a like down below, leave a like in the comments, and comment in the chat as well what you guys think as well. Hopefully the chat thing is working. Because when I tell you I spent like over like an hour doing this. So yeah. But yeah. Um so I got my iPad on the side, guys. I got my iPad on the side. Also using it for to use per Lego. I think you guys should also use this thing called per Lego. It's really good. This is where I read like my books and stuff like that. So next time I live stream, I'll be more prepared because I have that experience. I'll show you the different books that I go through. And you guys can actually read with me too as well. I may do like a read along as well. So but yeah, I usually don't use Chrome, but Chrome is the only real one working. But let's go on and let's see. Let's go to a different passage. Let's go to that Leviticus passage. Let's just do Leviticus 25 as a whole. All right. Oh, let me address I mean actually because I know I'm supposed to be talking about slavery in the Bible, but let me talk about Numbers 31 real quick. Yeah, let me do Numbers 31. All right. So Numbers 31, 31 verse. All right, number 31, verse 17. If you guys not familiar with the context, this is where Moses endorses destroying or killing all the little ones. But in order to understand the context of this, we have to go to Numbers 25. All right, let's go to Numbers 25. All right, so we see the subtitle. I think subtitles are real good. It says Israel harlotry in Moab. So let me give you an explanation of this of this story that we got going on. In Numbers 25, we see that the Israelite men fell into sin because the people of Moab, the women specifically, led the men into committing heinous sins, which goes against the Lord their God. So they're worshiping other gods and they're engaging in some sexual ritual, pretty much, long story short. They're engaging in sexual ritual. And obviously, this got the Lord angry, and the Lord's wrath was on the camp. And the way the Lord's wrath subsided from the camp is when they killed all the male who engaged in those actions. So, since we have an understanding of Numbers 25 and things like that, I'll probably read it. How many verses? Those 18 verses, we could read the whole thing. And it says, Now Israel remained in Asaya Grove, and the people began to commit harlotry with the women of Moab. They invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people ate and bowed down to their gods. So Israel was joined to Baal of Peor, and the anger of the Lord was aroused against Israel. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take all the leaders of the people and hang the offenders before the Lord out in the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may turn away from Israel." So we see that the Lord anger was burned hot because of this sexual ritual that they did. And he was angry. He was mad. So he said, hang the offenders, those who did such heinous crimes, kill them. And so Moses said to the judges of Israel, every one of you kill his men who join to Baal of Peor. And indeed, one of the children of Israel came and presented to his brother a Midianite woman in the sight of Moses, in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. Now, when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, okay, I guess we got the point. So God's wrath was burned hot against them. And now this is where Numbers 31 comes into play. In Numbers 31, verse 17, we see this. So let's get some context before we get into this. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, take vengeance on the Midianites for the children of Israel. Afterward, you shall be gathered to your people. So Moses spoke to the people, saying, arm some of yourselves for war, and let them go against the Midianites. Take vengeance for the Lord on Midian. 1,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of Israel you shall send to the war. So there were recruited from the divisions of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. Then Moses sent him to the war, 1,000 for each tribe, and he sent them to war with Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, with the holy articles and the signal trumpets in his hands. And they warred against the Midianites, just as the Lord commanded Moses, and they killed all the males. I was thinking about how, like, when people use this language, kills all the men, I'm gonna talk about that. That's another live stream. We talking about. I know it's supposed to be slavery, but this passage was definitely on my mind when I first started this. And verse 9 it says, and the children of Israel took the women of Midian captive with their little ones, and took the spoil and all the cattle, all their flocks, and all their goods. They also burned with fire all the cities where they dwelt, and all their forts. And they took all the spoil and all the booty of man and beast. Then they brought the captives, the booty, and the spoil to Moses, to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp of the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. And Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp. But Moses was angry with the officers of the army, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds who had come from the battle. And Moses said to them, have you kept all the women alive? Look, these women caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to trespass against the Lord in the incident of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who was known a man intimately. But keep alive for yourselves all the young girls who have not known a man intimately. As for you, remain outside the camp 7 days. Whoever has killed any person, whoever has touched any slain, purify yourselves and your captives on the third day and on the seventh day. All right, we get the point. When people read Numbers chapter 31, verse 17, they automatically assume that, yo, how is God even promoting this? And people don't realize that this is Moses speaking. There's a difference between descriptive and prescriptive. Descriptive is what's being described, and prescriptive is what is being prescribed. So God is not prescribing this. God's wrath was already settled after he killed the men who did these things, right? He and it's funny how he didn't even punish the women who engaged in this action. He actually bring his punishment among the males. So the males are the main one who is dealing with this issue. So I really like this. So let's go to Leviticus 25. And Leviticus 25 should take the main bulk of everything. Um, Specifically Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44 to 46. But we're going to start at 39. We're not going to just only keep reading, and reading. But I'm gonna break down and explain. People don't understand slavery in the Bible. They automatically think of chattel slavery. And I want people to actually like brainstorm. Like I want them to actually brainstorm and actually think. Give me 1 second. Yeah, right. I'm using my tablet, guys, to do what I do best. All right. So yes, people don't understand slavery and the Bible. They don't understand it, they don't comprehend it, and they don't get it. And I'm not quite sure why they don't get it, but obviously things are not clicking within themselves. Things are not clicking, not even in the slightest. So they lived in an ancient Near East society, which is an agrarian society. Agrarian society is more like an agriculture society where we live in a more industrial, capitalist society. So things are different. We have governmental agencies helping or trying to help the poor, trying to help those who are less fortunate. But during the ancient Near East, there was none of that. Hey, thank you, Jen. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I will keep it up, man. I will keep it up. I appreciate the love. But actually, right now I'm actually talking about slavery in the Bible because I feel like this is the most thing that have a lot of misconceptions behind it because a lot of people don't take the time to actually understand context. Context is like very foreign to them. But I want to try my best to break things down and make it simple. So what I was talking about how is that ancient in the ancient Near East, especially Israel, it was agrarian society, which it was agriculture. So imagine that that's why you see kind of like laws that make you scratch your head a little bit. Like the laws saying if you have a son who is a glutton and a wine bibber and stuff like that, a son who likes to eat a lot and a son who likes to drink alcohol a lot. Imagine the only time you get food is through your crops. But sometimes seasons can vary. Sometimes you may have dry seasons and sometimes you may have seasons where you may have an abundance of food. He says, how do I reckon with Jesus is back? Um, that's actually a good question. That's actually a good question. I'm actually going to talk about that because I actually am doing a series. Slavery in the Bible is how should I say? It's a branch, an avenue of slavery in the Bible. But I want to finish my thought about that and I'll answer your question for you. But slavery slavery in the Bible, when people see it, they automatically assume these worst things. Like I was in the midst of giving an example of what you call it, if a man or if a son, is a glutton, right? So imagine during the time there was a drought, you had no rain because the rain helps you get your crops where you could have food to eat. Imagine your son coming and eat all the food. That son right there is a menace to society in a sense where he's gonna kill you and the family because you know why? He's eating all the food because you have to prepare because you don't know what's gonna happen in the future. You don't know if a drought coming. So even though you have plenty, you have to make sure that you're prepared for what the worst thing could happen. Like now, like if the worst thing happens, like if a person has no way to provide food themselves, they could have food stamps. They didn't have food stamps back then. So imagine people who are less fortunate will sell themselves into slavery so they can have somebody provide for them. So we have to understand this context. Because when they hear the word slave, they run to the transatlantic slave trade and they think the worst thing possible. But we have to be realistic. But to answer your question with the how, you know, I feel about Jesus being black, I do believe obviously I don't believe that Jesus was white. I believe that Jesus was somebody of definitely a darker complexion than white people because you know why? He's in an area that the sun is very relevant. The sun is always out. And obviously, I believe he's had darker shade. Whether he's like like my skin complexion, I don't know. But I definitely don't think he was white, not even in the slightest. That is a good question. And I think that's why people have a hard time accepting the Bible and the scriptures because when they see the word slavery, they just saying, look, the slave owners use what you call it, the Bible, as a harmful tactic to use against them. And it's funny how Frederick Douglass, I even made a short about this on my YouTube channel, how even Frederick Douglass said that the Christianity of the scriptures, the Christianity of Christ, is way better than the Christianity in his land during those times, how they use Christ's word for their own personal gain. So this is something that's very interesting, something that piques my interest, something that piques me as well, which is I think it's a relevant, it's a good question. It's a good question. And I feel like there's layers to this, and with there being layers, like you have to like peel one things, and I feel like as Black people, it's a lot of trauma behind the Bible. That's why a lot of people have a hard time receiving it, if you know what I mean. Like they have a hard time digesting the very words of God because you know why? They used it as a vessel, but people don't know as well that even atheists like Charles Darwin, he used his ideas and stuff like that. I actually want to get deeper into that, Lord willing, whenever that will happen. He used that to promote, or scientists use that to promote eugenics and stuff like that, and how white people are superior to black. So there's a lot of things. People just like to use the Bible because you know why? They like to just bash Christians and stuff like that. But they wouldn't do that to their fellow brothers. Some people will, like Charles Darwin. So it's just about being consistent. If you guys don't have any more questions, you guys let me know. Definitely gonna drink water because I am a little thirsty. But yeah, but since I got more people, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about like my channel, about myself. You know, what is the purpose of the channel? Since you guys are probably curious, this is my first time like not doing like a short or a video. This is like me live streaming in real time. Like as time goes on, you guys will see more of my personality. I could be sarcastic sometimes, but the reason why I made expounding knowledge is because I'm a person who genuinely like learning. Like I would admit to you that I don't know everything. And if you claim to know everything, then you might as well make yourself God or Jesus. But obviously, I'm not those things. So I'm obviously in a constant state of learning, constant state of growing, constant state of evolving. So that's why I made expounding. Expounding means to grow, to go above. So I'm expounding in knowledge. I'm growing in knowledge because there's never a day I'm not knowing. And especially with this, like I want to have live callers, Lord willing, maybe at the end of this week. I probably want to make this consistent, maybe live stream every day, see how I study. But this is what expounding knowledge is about. Like it's for other people to grow in knowledge, not only me. Like at times I would feel like in my own head because I wasn't talking to anyone about the things that I'm learning. And I'm like, yo, I have to share this to people. I can't just keep these things that I'm learning to myself. And I've been doing a long study. I've probably been working on this for like a year or two, maybe 2 years, about slavery in the Bible. And I even did research about the curse of Ham. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll probably explain it. Let me the scholar that I read, David Goldenberg. Yep. Curse. Okay. Things acting weird. All right. So let me move so you guys could see it more clearly. I'm gonna move my thing to the other side so you guys could see it. All right. Hey, give me some time learning the mechanics. All right. So this is the book, The Curse of Ham. He actually made two books. I read both of them. Black and Slave. I read both of them. Really good books. I would definitely suggest them about the Curse of Ham. I'll talk about the Curse of Ham after I answer of a question. So I'm gonna move myself back. All right. The question is, why does Jesus never directly condemn slavery? Well, during Jesus' ministry, slavery probably wasn't a main thing. It was a main thing in the Romans, what you call it, in the Roman Empire. Um, you see, Paul talks about it a little bit. I kind of want to save that a little later for a video because I've been working um, on Paul's letter to Philemon. I actually want to save that a little later, but Jesus talked about the main things that was relevant during his time in ministry. And what was relevant to Jesus in his ministry at that time was most people don't know it was marriage in the resurrection. And I don't know if you guys seen that with I'm trying to remember the scripture. Jesus. Oh, okay, I remember. So when Jesus was going against the Sadducees, and the Sadducees saying there's no resurrection of the dead, and Jesus was going against them. So Jesus never really talked about slavery in the Bible because it's something, or in his ministry, like in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, is because it's something that wasn't really relevant in his location and area. Remind you, Jesus was a Jew in Galilee, and there probably wasn't no real slavery. Maybe there was servitude, but like servanthood is not necessarily, I know this may, and I may have to put some context around it. Servitude is not really the issue at hand. Because think about it. Everybody goes out and go work, right? Everybody go and work. Me, you, whoever you are. You go outside and you work, right? There's no problem with that. It becomes a problem, your wages. Well, this person's not really getting worth his wages. So let's put it in the context of ancient Israel that there's no, hey, go work your 9 to 5 job. There's none of that. There's an agrarian society, agriculture, go to the farm, go to the land, till the ground, all those things. It's a different society. So you're working for someone, and while you're working for someone, they're providing you food, water, shelter, they providing you things. Where it becomes the issue is how they mistreat you. So that's how I would answer the that's how I would answer the question. And and I think it's important for us to understand that and know like the context and the society that's going on and what is transpiring at that time. Because people are so quick. Yes, chattel slavery is wrong, but the slavery or the servanthood that you see in the Old Testament, it's not chattel slavery like the transatlantic slave trade. And I kind of want to talk about that in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44 to 46. I'm actually making a video about this. This is should be coming out maybe in the next 2 weeks because I'm still going in depth about it. But one of the words that I am studying is I'm trying to find it right now. So amount you may have from the nations around you, you may buy male. Okay, but I think it's right there. Mm, But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, you guys could put it down in the comments or in the little chat. I'm so used to there you go, right here. So the word kana, which means to buy, possessed. So when people see possessed and buy or acquire, they automatically think like your property, right? But Blue Letter Bible is not the most perfect, but I think it's good enough. It does some justice. And I want to read Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And I was looking at this as I was doing my study. And actually, let's make this like a little study sesh. In Genesis chapter 4, verse 1, it says, Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. So the word right here, kana, is right here where you see the word it says acquired. If we want to put buy, I have buy a man from the Lord. Did she pay money to the Lord for a child? No. So what I'm trying to show is that the words all depend on context. Words don't by nature have negative connotation towards it. It's all depending on the context that kind of give meaning to it. Um, So when you see, and as your male and female slaves, whom you may have from the nations that are around you, from them you may buy male or female slaves. So what this is saying in verse 44, that you could get male and female slaves from the nations that are around you. And like I've been saying and preaching, is that this is an agriculture society, agrarian society. So imagine every nation is like that. Israel's not the only nation that's an agrarian society. Every nation in the ancient Near East is like that. So imagine a person is already a slave already a slave. An Israelite could buy a slave. Even if they buy a slave, they can't mistreat the slave or the servant. And it's crazy how well the slaves or the servants were treated. And let me go on my little run. I don't know if you guys seen my. Oh, that was a little too vague. Exodus 21. I don't know if you guys seen my short where I talked about the different verses and passages. Let me go to it right now. Mm-mm-mm. Maybe it's chapter 22. I think it's probably chapter 22. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Exodus 22. I'm trying to find it. Um, I know it's in Exodus 22 somewhere. Trying to find that passage. I know it's in Exodus chapter 22 because I read it earlier. Okay, maybe I can't find it. You should love the foreigner. Really? Let's see, foreigner. I know it's called the goyim, or they could be called the ger, the goyim. The goyim means the nations. Let's see. Now I probably could find it easier doing like this. Uh, foreigner, or stranger. Yeah, there you go. All right, I'm trying to find it. No, it didn't. Then let's do sojourners. Hopefully, I'm spelling it wrong. Sojourners. Um, it's crazy. Your boy don't know how to spell. All right. So thank God for Google. Soldier. Ah, okay. Hey, see, look, I got no shame in saying things, okay? Because I got no pride. We all students of the game over here. We all students of the game. All right, perfect. Perfect. I finally found it. Okay, perfect. There you go. Atosab. Really? No. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, the Toshavim. Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. Really? I think. I think it'd probably be Gare the alien. Let's do alien. Yeah, alien may be better. Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to find the thing. Let's see. You should. Okay, the gear. Alright. Mm. Her, it was in Exodus 22. I just was missing it. All right, it says, "You shall neither mistreat a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." Finally found it. But yeah, you see, it says, "You shall neither mistreat a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." So it shows you that, hey, yo, you were strangers. If you were strangers and you were oppressed, don't oppress the strangers, which is the gear. And there's three words to represent the aliens, the strangers, the sojourner. You have the Toshavims, which are like settlers and like not really foreigners. They're more like sojourners. That's how I would describe foreigners. Is more like the Neklir, which is like a Nekhiar. Then you have the gear, which is like the aliens. And think about aliens like what we have today. No, not the little green figures, but actual aliens. Somebody who's kind of like new to the land. And we have the Goyims, which are like the nations around you. But yeah, and there's other passages as well too. You got the Exodus. You should not mistreat a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Israel. Exodus chapter 23 verse 9. Also, you should not oppress a stranger, for you know the heart of a stranger, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Um, Even this, 6 days you shall do work, and the seventh day you shall rest. Your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your female servant and stranger may be refreshed. Um, Newsflash. During the transatlantic slave trade, there was no way for you to have rest. You working 24/7, 7-Eleven. Not literally 24/7. Let's see. Let's find more. Um, See, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 33 to 34. "And if a stranger dwells with you in your land, you shall not mistreat him. The stranger who dwells among you shall be to you as one born among you. And you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God." And let's keep looking. But yeah, Leviticus chapter 24, verse 22. "You shall have the same law for the stranger and for the one from your own country, for I am the Lord your God." So we kind of get the gist and the motif of things. But yeah, I think everything looks well and splendid. So we see that how God feels about the strangers and the foreigners. Let me remove this and let me actually put the big screen just to myself because I want to make it. All right. So I'm almost finished. We're gonna make it an hour today because this is my first time. I promise tomorrow I will do another live stream tomorrow to get a gist of it. Um, Tomorrow, maybe by the end of this week, maybe Thursday or Friday, I want to like start getting like guests. I'm actually gonna start incorporating TikTok because yes, I have TikTok as well. You guys can follow me on TikTok. But I know today was a out of notice. I wasn't on time because I was new. But I will be efficient. And after that, we're gonna start getting live guests and things like that. We're gonna start reaching as much people as possible, be a light in the best way that we could possibly can. I'm actually going to take a shift to TikTok right now to live stream and things like that. But I enjoy this because I feel like it's needed. Like, not a lot of people are knowledgeable about this subject. I'm not saying I'm the most knowledgeable, but I have a decent understanding. And I kind of want to grow on this, continue to build on this. And we're probably going to do a live stream this whole week about like the Old Testament, slavery in the Bible, and things like that. And then maybe after next week, we could probably get some live people and see what they have to say. Even if we don't get people, we still gonna be talking because it's the word of God. We could always keep talking. But yeah, I don't even have an outro, but I'm gonna make one. See, look, I'm gonna get better, you guys. I'm gonna get better. But I just want to be authentic, real with you guys. I love learning. And if you see me make mistakes on live stream, that's okay. Like I have no shame, I have no guilt, I have no like pride. Like I'm just happy and enjoying to do this because I love interacting with people. I love talking to people. If people have questions, I would try my best to answer at the best of my abilities. Uh, Hopefully, I could get a better setup. But I'm thankful. Maybe I'm just on a certified yap sesh. But if anybody have any questions, any thoughts, anything they want to say, anything they want to ask me, free to do so. I'm gonna give y'all more time as I continue to look at some things real quick. Maybe it's probably better if I put this down here. Yo, I think I found a method. I think I'm gonna put it up here so people could see. Let's see. Hey, make sure you guys hit the like. There's four people in there. You know, we're trying to help the algorithm. Yes, I will be switching on to TikTok as well. So if you guys want to join there too, my TikTok is expounding knowledge. Um, mhm. But yeah, so next time I will have my Prolego connected, so you guys could even read along with me. Like, even if you guys can't afford these books, I got you guys. Like, you guys will look through these sources with me. Um, uh, but yeah, I think everything's good. All right, let's make myself big again. It looks like you guys have no questions. No questions. Um, I also see Jen the Ben. I don't even know who Jen the Ben is, but he said he's loving the content, and I appreciate it. Hey, thank you. Hey, thank you. Welcome to YouTube. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I've actually been making a lot of videos for maybe about a year or two. I've been making videos for about 2 years, a year and a half, maybe. I think it's a year and a half. And yeah, I want to continue on going, man. I love talking to people. I love real conversations. I'm not really the person who like these debates because I feel like debates today are very like disingenuous. Like I feel like people are not actually having conversation to actually learn from each other. They're doing it just to try to win and pick a side. Like let's not try to win and pick a side. Let's have authentic conversation. Why talking about slavery? I feel like when I'm on TikTok, not a lot, but when I'm on TikTok, I usually like to fill my algorithms with a lot of unbelievers so I could know how to address them. So when I'm trying to do that, it helps me navigate conversations and how they think. So I've been studying about slavery in the Bible for about a year and a half for a long time, actually. I've been reading books upon books upon books. Uh, I have witnesses to that too. Like I've been reading, like I've been consuming. I'm not saying I'm an expert on it, but I have some knowledge that I could speak about it a little bit. And if I could help clarify questions, I would. So that's why I'm talking about slavery in the Bible. Then hopefully I could transition to say how the Bible is reliable and how Jesus was a real historical figure. And you know, whatever the Lord wants, He's gonna lead me to. But as of right now, I'm still going about slavery in the Bible, but my direction may change. I may want something, then God wants me to go after something else. So I just want to be, I want to be like somebody who could give good wisdom about history, biblical facts, and biblical knowledge. So that's the main point of like expounding knowledge. I talk about it like I'm gonna be authentic, I'm gonna be real conversation. I'm not trying to win a side. Obviously, I am a Christian, and obviously, I want to make sure you come to Christ. But I'm open for conversations. I'm open to conversations in the sense where let's engage intellectually, but also let's think morally as well too. So, but that was actually a good question. But yeah, if you guys like and share next time, share it with somebody. I will be live streaming tomorrow. I will be live streaming every day, at least for this week. At least for this week, I'm live streaming every day. What time? I'm not necessarily sure. I know I have work, so sometime after work, maybe 8 o'clock p.m. 8 o'clock. Give me some time to like work out, rest and stuff like that. But 8 o'clock, I should be 8 o'clock, 8:30. Just look out for it. It's still gonna be slavery in the Bible again. Still gonna be slavery in the Bible. So I'll just talk about specific passages, and hopefully we get more people, and you guys share with more people. Like I said, I am transitioning to TikTok to get the TikTok live stream because I guess TikTok you get more engagement. But I love YouTube more, okay? Because I love long form content. What you think about Islam and the Quran? Mm. Hey, why not this way? You give me a lot of good questions, man. I think there's a lot of things wrong with Islam. I kind of talked about it in some of my videos why I would never become a Muslim. I know there's Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, and we have Quran only Muslims. Um, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. I won't say really in anything. I'll just call myself a student. But I can't be a Muslim, in my personal opinion, is because Muhammad is supposed to be a good moral example, but he's not a good moral example. In my opinion, he's a terrible one. I mean, I got no shame towards my Muslim brothers and sisters, but I think he's a terrible example to humanity. Um, he encourages violence. He encourages even hitting your wife. I could go on and on about that, and I just feel like the character of Jesus meshes well. And I know you guys watch people like God Logic. God Logic, I love God Logic. I've learned a lot from him about Islam and Jai and DOC. They're Arabic speakers who do a real good job. So I'm still learning. I'm no expert. But yeah, I'm willing to learn about that too. Hopefully later in the future, Lord willing, I can go into that department and that section. But I feel like right now I'm definitely called to touch on slavery in the Bible, slavery in general. But yeah, and I'm gonna start bringing sources too. I do want to make more videos instead of shorts because I feel like I can get more engagement with regular videos. But I get more engagement with shorts, so yeah. But I think Islam is false, and I think the Quran is false too, as well. Because it says Jesus is the Messiah, but the Messiah is the Son of God, but they believe Allah has no son. So boom. Obviously, they're not in continuity with the scriptures and the prophets. And they obviously disagree with Jesus. But yeah, I enjoyed God Logic. I enjoyed David Wood. I enjoyed, even though David Wood is a very unique taste, you got to have a unique taste. But I love God Logic and Jai and DOC because God Logic, he's very good with his words and the semantics of things. And Jai and DOC is good with the Arabic speaking. And Raymond Ibrahim, who's more of a historian, he talks about the rise of Islam during the medieval period. Actually, let me show you Raymond Ibrahim, so you guys could, I'm gonna try to put you guys on real quick. All right, let's go. Let's put you on real quick. He's actually from Egypt. He was Raymond Ibrahim. There you go. All right. And I think it's his book, Two Swords of Christ. Yep, the Two Swords of Christ. I'm actually gonna check if Perlego actually has that. If Perlego has that, maybe we could talk about it. And the Defenders of the West, he's also a real good scholar when it comes to Islam and the spread of Islam during the medieval period. No, it's not the number one priority. No, slavery is not the number one priority in your Bible. It's not the number one. It's just it's something in apologetics, right? You have different people who deal with certain things. Like you have God Logic who deals with Muslims. We have other Christians who deal with like atheists. We have other brothers and sisters who deal with other things. But me personally, And this season, I'm not saying I'm gonna be there forever, is about slavery in the Bible because there's a lot of misconceptions, and I just want to clear those things out. Oh, Christian Prince. Christian Prince is, oh, I forgot about Christian Prince as well. Christian Prince is really good. I forgot to mention that as well. Um, I do hope to get into like dealing with like Muslims and stuff like that and dealing with because it's very popular right now as well. And I just want to have a reach on people as much as possible because one of my phrases that I like to say is that which is in the Bible that God said my people perish for lack of knowledge. And I really do believe that people perish for the lack of knowledge and definitely want to educate and be authentic, be real too. But also don't be a walking map. Jesus says, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So he called us to be wise because, sometimes you have people who try to do you dirty sometimes. And Sam Shamoon, yes, Sam Shamoon. Sam is not my cup of tea. He's not a person I enjoy watching, but he is probably, I could say authentically, probably one of the best people when it comes to understanding scripture. That I could praise him for a lot because he knows the Bible inside out, and I admire his intellectual understanding of the scriptures. Like it's amazing. Like that I could talk about. That I could say resonates well with me. I could say that. But like I said, I'm more of like the God Logic fan. Maybe not only because we share the same skin color, but I just like I just like how he approaches things. It reminds me of myself, even though he's older than me by 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 some years. He he does a real good job. I could say that he does a real good job. Definitely take inspiration to him sometimes. Definitely do. Another person, I'm trying to think another person who I gain inspiration from. Um, Inspiring philosophy is real good too. He's more of a different approach as well. Trying to think of somebody else. I don't know. I can't think of nobody right now. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I thought of everyone. But yeah, I will say though, as I live stream more, send the live stream to your friends, your families, or people who don't believe. Hopefully you guys enjoy the live stream. This live stream will be up. And as time goes better, I'll be better with the live stream. Things will be more fluid. But yeah, probably lift my table. Maybe lift the cameras up too. But yeah. But with that being said, if you guys don't have any questions or anything like that, I will be heading out. And I appreciate all of you guys. I want to say appreciate you guys for coming and supporting. I really do appreciate it because you guys could have did something better with your time, but you guys decided to come in and listen to me, and I appreciate that truly. I really do. And I'm an ex-Muslim. I'm actually gonna look that up. I'm gonna research him actually. I definitely want to say thank you. Why not this way? I'm looking it up right now. His name is, you said, Ahmed Muslim. Okay, let me mid. Oh wow, I never heard of him. Ahmed ex Muslim. Definitely gonna look into that. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Why not? But with that being said, thank you, Jen the Ben. Thank you, Samara. And thank you, Why Not This Way. I appreciate y'all for joining, for enjoying the live stream. I will be back tomorrow. And yeah, have a blessed one.